We have a question from Debbie today, and she wants to know all the tricks on having the machine cut properly, using vinyl, downloading, all of the things that she needs to know in order to make her Cricut work the perfect way. This is the Creative Crafters Podcast. Hi, I'm Bette from Bette's Makes, and this is your questions answered. Well, Debbie, that is a pretty long question. It would take me far longer than 2 minutes in order to answer that. But knowing all the tricks, as long as you know some of the tricks for doing exactly what you're doing at the time, that becomes the important part. Now, we do have our Cricut tips and tricks. We have a book 1 and a book 2. And you can find out more about those by going to betsmakes.com or looking at the description of this podcast. You'll see at the bottom the place where you can grab those books. Now, those are important places to start, but they're out of context because they're just tips and tricks of things that you can do to make things work better. Now, the best way to know the tricks and tips is to grab a class, do the project all the way through, listen to your instructor because they're going to show you little tricks along the way, and that way they're more in context about what you're doing at the time. For example, on our YouTube channel, we have tons of different projects you can make, and each one teaches you another little trick. Now, another way you can understand some of the tricks on having the machine cut properly is to, of course, have your newbie's guide handy, and that will take you through a lot. We do update that newbie's guide every 6 months because Design Space is constantly putting in changes. We can't update it more often. However, if you do purchase a copy or our Ultimate Cricut Toolkit, you will get those updates the second we do them. It doesn't cost you any extra, so we try to keep you up to date that way as well. Now, tricks on having the machine cut properly using vinyl and downloading. All you can do is select the material that's closest to, if you do not use Cricut materials. And then when it comes to cutting, make sure you add more pressure, and that will help a lot as well. And if things don't cut through, as I have mentioned before on this podcast, don't unload the mat, but hit the go button again for it to cut one more time. And of course, with paper, if you have a lot of little turns and little extra pieces, make sure you're using intricate cuts, but same thing, make sure it's cut all the way through. And if it's not, don't unload the mat, push the go button again, and you should have it cut through. You can keep doing that until it's cut the way you want it. So I hope this helped a little bit. This has been the Creative Crafters Podcast and your questions answered.